Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is Tyrus Bang, y'all. Welcome to the definition of anarchy. Coming. Just like until I am able to stop. We knew this was coming, right? I mean, we had to know this was coming. We had to know that at some point they were going to want to create GMO out of our babies. They want our children to be GMO. How do I know this? Well, Pfizer is getting ready to ask the FDA for approval and at least, emergency use approval for the jab for children ages 5 to 11. They already have authorized, use for 12-year-olds and up. Now they want to go to your 5-year-olds, 5 to 11. They want to do that, and they're pushing it to the FDA. We'll see what happens, but we know if the powers that be want the children to become GMO, then it's going to happen. I mean, they're going to approve it, and then we're going to be faced with major choices. We're going to be faced with major choices, and you see, this is what's going to happen when your child ends up in the hospital. If they do this, all right, if they authorize the vaccine for use, I don't care if I said the vaccine, whatever, fuck it. If they authorize the hokey pokey for use on 5 to 12-year-olds, let's say your 5-year-old ends up, your 6-year-old, your 7-year-old ends up in the hospital. They're sick. They came down with something. If they're determined to have Modelo 19 and the hokey pokies are available, right? They're available for use for 5 to 6 to 7-year-olds. They will have a reason to call CPS on you, right? And have them take your children away. This is already happening. Understand that. Children are already being taken away from parents who refuse to get the hokey pokey. And if that child is over 12 years old and they end up in a hospital with Modelo 19, parents are being taken from people who are, with children who are age 12 and up that haven't been hokey pokey, that aren't GMO. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening like every time, but believe me, in some places, people's children are being taken away. Look, this has been going on. Listen, this has been going on for a while, right? The school system is designed, right, to indoctrinate your children. And if there's any resistance to their indoctrination, then your child ends up in the system, taken away from you. I know this woman, I don't know her personally, but my wife's friend, knows somebody who they took their child to the hospital. This had nothing to do with Modelo 19 in particular, but took the child to the hospital, and I think they hit the head or something. The child hit their head, or they fell or something like that, hit the ground, and they were injured, right? Took the child to the hospital, and the father wasn't there. The mother was there. The father wasn't there. And because the father wasn't there, they were able to bully this woman while she's in the hospital, right? Bully this woman in the hospital, and ended up taking that child away. And she was pregnant, right? So once they take one child, fucking phone calls. Every time I do live, I get all these fucking phone calls. So anyway, should be back. But they took this woman's child away. The father wasn't there. Took this woman's child away. She was pregnant, and when she had that baby, guess what happened? They took that fucking child away too. They took both of her children away, the newborn and the motherfucking older child. This is what they do. They will find any reason. Your child comes, your child, goes to the school and starts talking about shit, or they go to school and, just they say something. Children can just say anything. The teacher hears it, and all of a sudden you got CPS in your business. That's why I homeschool my children. My children don't go to school. They stay home, they homeschool, and they go through this state program that fucking, just so I can keep the state off my back. They have to go through this charter school that facilitates homeschool parents. And they give you money every semester for the child so you can get supplies, so they can get tutors, or they can take learning courses online, whatever the case may be. And shit, if I'm going to pay for school through my taxes, I'm going to use the fucking shit to get my money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm basically paying for my child's homeschooling because they're extorting me every week, for taxes to go to schooling. But anyway, and then I had another friend who took their child to the hospital. But the dude was there, my homeboy. Both parents were there. Their daughter hit their head or something like that. Something that happens to fucking kids. Kids play around, they fall, they hit their fucking heads, they scrape their leg, they might even break an arm or a leg. You know what I'm saying? They might break their wrist. But they went to the hospital, and they're like, CPS shows up. Okay? They told them the story. Look, man, they were playing on the playground. They were hanging from the monkey bars, slipped, hit their head on the bar. Okay? CPS shows up, tries to manipulate and intimidate, but my homeboy was there. He wasn't having it. You know what I'm saying? And they averted a crisis. They averted their child being taken away. This is what happens. This authorization for 5 to 12 years old is going to be used as a tool to take your children away. They're using this Modelo 19 bullshit. They're using the hokey pokey mandates. They're doing all this shit so that it can be used as a tool for control. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. You understand? CPS. You don't want your children to end up in the system. Now with CPS. Because they're taking your children away because you're neglectful. You're probably dangerous. You're probably abusive. That's what they're thinking. They have no fucking clue. They have no idea. They come to your house. Your house might not be the cleanest at the time, but you got a bunch of kids running around making messes every 2 seconds. It's hard to, you know what I mean? They'll look for any reason. Oh, your gutter is falling, or whatever. You don't want your child to end up in the foster system where they can be treated even worse. And these people are being paid to have your children, and they're treating your children. They don't give a shit about the children. It's a paycheck. That's how they make a living. A lot of them are abusive. Not all of them. There's some good foster parents. I know foster parents that were damn good. But then I also know my stepbrother's dad had 3 foster children. 3 foster children. And they all happened to be siblings, like blood siblings. So they were able to, stay together, thankfully. But the mother, right, the foster mother, my stepbrother's, dad's wife was fucking nuts. Treated them like little toy soldiers. You know what I'm saying? All like they were her little slaves. They cleaned up the house. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't have fun. They couldn't, you know what I'm saying? They couldn't enjoy their life. You know, she talked to them harshly, like she beat them and all, like she whooped them on them and stuff. Had them clean up her bathroom. Okay, I can understand. You make the children clean up the bathroom that they use because they make the mess in that bathroom, right? But to make them clean up your bathroom, come on. Where they're not even allowed to use your bathroom, but you're gonna have them scrub your bathroom and clean your room. And she was too much. Now, she was better than a lot of foster parents could be. There was no real abuse. There was no sexual abuse going on, but she was just, she didn't let them have a life. And they grew up resentful. And then the daughter, the foster daughter, she's now like 22 or 23. And she's wild. Like, she's all over the place. No direction, rudderless. She was raised with so much discipline that when she finally could be free, she's living in a van. She's driving all across. She's back and forth between Washington State. Like, she's out of control. I don't know. It's just crazy. You don't want your children to end up in a position where anything can be used to remove them from your home, right? And it's not just removing them from your home. It's now that they want to put this shit in children. They want to put this experimental bullshit in children. Understand? They want to put this experimental bullshit into your children. And then you're going to have more of these fucking clowns running around pushing the mandate. You know, you think that there's issues at schools now where parents don't want their children to be hokey pokey. It's going to be bigger now. Now you're going to have more parents trying to resist. You're going to have more parents showing up to school board meetings, all that other shit. You're going to have more parents not willing to take their children to a hospital for anything because they don't want to have to deal with this whole hokey pokey bullshit. No one wants to go to hospitals anymore. No one wants to go to hospitals. I know nurses and doctors that don't want to go to the hospital. They're like, man, I'm done with this shit. They're walking off the job. Nurses are quitting. My cousin who's a nurse, she's quitting because they wanted to get the hokey pokey. And you would think that if this thing was so effective and safe, you wouldn't have this huge influx of healthcare workers leaving their jobs, not participating in the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You would think that 99.9% of people in the medical field would just stick around. Would just, and they would encourage people. I didn't have to, I know how effective this hokey pokey is. I know how dangerous Model 19 is. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nurses out there. Listen, y'all, nurses are heroes, man. Straight up. Nurses are heroes. Nurse practitioners, they're like the best of both worlds. They do more medicine, right? But they still are into patient care. You're not going to want to, people aren't going to want to take their children to the hospital for simple shit. They're not going to want to take their children to the doctor's office for a checkup. They're not going to want to take your children, you're not going to want to take your children to a fucking dental office to get their teeth checked. Everything is revolving around this whole Model 19 now. This thing is shaping, it's creating a new culture in this world and in this country. And it's not a good culture. It's not a culture that one would want to appropriate. No one's going to appropriate the Model 19. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a good change. It's a bad change. It's a change towards we're moving more into a police state. Understand that. Yeah, you got police walking off the job. You got police walking off the job. You got teachers walking off the job. What's going to be left? What kind of what dregs of the police department are going to remain when all these indifferent cops leave, right? Because there are no good cops. One might argue all the good cops are going to go. No, not good cops. Indifferent cops that wouldn't necessarily, be abusive and all that other shit. They're going to leave, and what's going to be left? The horrible cops, the bad cops, the ones that actually commit crimes, blatantly against the people, the super tyrants. Understand? And so, instead of quitting the force, these indifferent cops, I would encourage them to stick around and perhaps change the culture, try to help change the culture within the police department. But it can't happen. It's the system, the culture of policing right now is too entrenched. This is bad. Our children are our future. Sounds cliche, but it's true. Our children are going to lead us into the next generation and the generation after that. They're going to take us into the next level. You understand? But they want to put this shit in our children that we don't know what the hell it's going to do in 2 or 3 years. We don't know what it's going to do with their reproductive health. We don't know any of that. Between ages 5 and 12, you got puberty cracking up in there. And this shit crosses the blood testes barrier. It crosses the blood placenta barrier. Listen, we need to talk to, if you guys know nurses, doctors, police officers, veterans, people that, construction workers, farmers, ranchers, people like that, we need to have a discussion with them. We need to talk to them about what we can do to prepare for this police state. I don't know many cops. I don't befriend cops. Like I said, I have one friend that was a cop who became a LA sheriff. You know what I'm saying? But we need to talk to these people, see where their minds are at. Because we're going to need nurses. We're going to need doctors. We're going to need builders. We're going to need security. We're going to need all that. We're going to need educators. So talk to any teachers that you feel they're tired of the bullshit. It's time to, if they won't let us opt out, we have to just remove ourselves. Real shit. It's that time. That time is coming. It's time to remove ourselves from the system and do our own thing. And that's why you need to know ranchers and farmers, because they have land. You understand? Land ownership. We really have to reach these people. And you just have discussions. I have discussions when I go to the farmers market. And, I have these discussions with these farmers. I have these discussions with these ranchers. None of them are with this bullshit. They live a different life. They know what's up. They don't want to be bothered with these mandates. It's only these fucking brats, right? It's only these fucking brats that live in these cities that have everything provided for them. But when Costco has a shortage on toilet paper, they don't know what the hell to do. You know what I'm saying? So we really need to start building our communities. We really need to still start building our own communities. We really need to start doing that. And be prepared to defend it. Be prepared to defend that community to our last breaths. And that's real shit. Because, we don't, I don't know about y'all, but I don't really want or need anything from the government other than what they owe me for all the years of extortion that they have been doing to me and everybody else. Get our reparations, Oh, you've been extorting me since I started working. You've been taking money from me. You've been taking money from me for Social Security, for Medicare. You've been taking money from me for, federal income taxes, state income taxes. You've been taking money for all this bullshit, right? For schools. Well, you give me my money. We're gonna get our land, and then that's it. We really need to start removing ourselves from this system before the system swallows us up, and throws us into camps, okay, re-education camps, prison, jail, whatever the case may be. And they got the red flag laws coming, they got the TAPS Act coming. All this shit is going to result